Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support and any kind of updates and the such. Usually, I go about on Twitter X platform, um, especially with live streams. Again, just a quick update. Tomorrow, I'll be launching the second episode of Midnight Suns. At this moment in time, 2 episodes per week. But if I continue to manage to do the recording that I've been managing, I will ramp up to 3 episodes per week. So probably Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. We'll see how that goes. Live streams again. When I can, I will jump in and do something. Mainly because again, with my freelancer schedule, it's a little bit tricky to get around having time for live streams in a more consistent way, but I will try my best. And basically, again, you can check all the content here is on YouTube. And again, as I mentioned, Patreon for extra support. So let's go to the news. Supposedly, XKey Hynix confirms that the GDDR7 memory that they were working on will enter mass production in the third quarter instead of next year. And at this moment, seemingly, there is no kind of more information except that they already announced 32 gigabytes per second. I think it's the speed there. Again, interesting things because already Samsung and Micron are already going on the status supposedly sampling. I don't know what we don't have like a status even from if they are sampling or not from SQ Hynix. But it's interesting because they maintain in terms of the module sizes aren't changed from GDDR6 kind of memory there. And they basically are working on the improved power efficiency by 50%, and even they basically managed to reduce the thermal resistance by around 74% with more heat dissipating substrates. Again, there's a lot of technical stuff, but again, they managed to, I will assume, put more cooling solution when on the memory itself, so there is less resistance on the heat dissipating. So got better cooling, and with that, got always better performance because usually memory tends to be very sensitive to temperatures when it comes to performance. That's why I think there was some issues with Samsung regarding that with Nvidia for their own GDDR7 part of the process of qualifying in terms of quality for them to make the proper orders there. And they are already advancing, telling that us that they're going to at least the first generation will be up to 32 gigabytes, even though Samsung and Micron, I think they will start around aiming for at least or around 28 gigabytes per second on their own modules. Again, I covered a little bit of the GDR7 at least between a few days to a few weeks ago. This is the first generation. I think with the upcoming generations, they will be managing to upgrade the speeds of these memories. But even then, I don't think that even the RTX 50 series is going to be able to take full advantage of these speeds, which to a certain extent is good because the the GPUs, the graphics card will not be struggling because of the speed of the memories themselves, which is good. The less bottlenecks that you have, especially from other suppliers of other components that you are going to be working on your own GPU stuff there, it's always good to see that probably the if the RTX or even AMD new GPUs that were going to integrate GDDR7, which they are not, the RDNA 4 will still maintain the GDDR6X, if not mistaken, because it's not worth to jumping on because the GPUs will not take advantage of the higher memory speeds. It's not a bottleneck issue for them. And I think GDDR7 it's a better solution, especially for like high-end GPUs. Even though they are not take full advantage of this, at least we know that the bottleneck is not on the memory there, which is a good sign there. But yeah, we'll see how this goes in terms of the again a lot of demanding from especially AI stuff there still, even though there are some signs that the AI bubble there might be popping off until the end of the year, most likely. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this will goes, because again, there is so much market saturation that you can go for um, regarding the AI stuff there, because there isn't a unlimited market cap on that, because there is so much companies that are investing on that field. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that bubble, if they don't take measures to avoid the bubble to pop up, we will see some companies going under, similar to a lot of other bubble things induced by the bubble phenomenon, which is everybody goes full throttle investing just a specific narrow field, and then they put all their eggs in the same basket without taking any kind of precautions, and usually that's not good. And again, these companies, when they think on the short term, which is the quarterly earnings, instead of making medium to long term plans for the overall healthy growth of the company, or at least maintaining the company itself, usually it tends to go very very badly. But yeah, hopefully we'll see how this goes regarding the overall market, because if the companies will have a lot of stock of this GDDR7, and all of a sudden the AI bubble just pops, there is stop immediately basically having the necessity of having this much stock of GDDR7, and we'll see these companies taking being dragged down to a certain degree regarding this like extra stock. Kind of a similar thing happened to a certain point um, with the crypto stuff, with the 30 series GPUs. They just overproduce a lot of those, and they are still to this day a lot of 30 series, mainly like 3060s and 30, mainly 3060s from what I perceive, still on the market for new to sell. So yeah, even though we already have the launch of the 40s, we are on the verge of the 50 series from Nvidia. There are still a lot of the 40 series. The same thing with AMD to a certain extent. They still have some stock of the 6000 GPU series. Yeah, it still reflects from the crypto mining boom. We are still seeing some reflection from that, which is interesting to see. And they just, again, I think they just go on panic modes, trying to create trends out of nowhere to just maintain the profits and the margins of those profits up there. Yeah, we'll see how this goes by the end of the year. In terms of games, interesting enough, Fable Studio Playground Games opens a third office to work on the RPG. Again, this game is not doesn't seems very good. Not only from the design they went for the main character there, and all the videos and the trailers, not much, but from what I've been seeing, doesn't look that good. I don't know what they are trying to aim for, even though we don't have still any kind of gameplay. I'm not sure when this game is supposed to come out, but basically they open a third office. It's very supposedly near of the already two offices that they have. The two offices are in Leamington Spa. They are basically a few miles between each other. Again, we'll see how this goes. Again, there is no details, but supposedly they have 32 open positions to work on the game itself. Again, this was from the start a very odd choice for the studio to work on this game, given that Playground Games is more well established as the Forza series, Forza Horizon series. I think the latest game that they launched was Forza Horizon 5, and they work also on Forza Horizon. So I think all of the Forza Horizons were made by them since 2010, which is interesting that given the pedigree on racing games, all of a sudden going for a complete different genre, not even adjacent or something like that, which is a Fable RPG series. Again, I just hope they correct a little bit. Again, hopefully they will not go for the perceived modern audiences that don't exist anywhere. We already have several cases of games that are launched for those modern audiences with the modern sensitivities, and we see how they are basically crashing down. The case of Suicide Squad, the upcoming Concord. We got also the Ubisoft games again trying to cater to an audience that doesn't exist. But yeah, they interesting enough. They open a third studio. I don't know what is going to be about the playground games. I don't know. I don't know if their woke money is going to is any way, shape, or form associated with this. But if it is, I'm feeling that this studio is going to fail on the launch of this game. Hopefully, there are still some developers working on and supporting Forza Horizon games, from what I understand from this article. But yeah, hopefully they stay with at least another franchise. Hopefully they don't go all out, just putting again all their eggs in the same basket. Usually it's not a good strategy there. Um, Last night, out of the sudden, I caught on my feed on Twitter, Elden Ring launched another patch notes, another patch to version 1.13. I got this video from Factions Live that basically goes over like the major changes. Basically, it's a lot of buffing on weapon skills, spells, and some incantations, and some PvP changes. Again, supposedly there are also some performance improvements on the game itself, on the game engine. Let's say, supposedly there is some improvement there. I need to play the game to see how this goes. But yeah, I will leave the link of the video of Extra Life. They usually do pretty good videos regarding Elden Ring and Dark Souls and all that jazz. Everything that is on their site, it's pretty good. And they do very well short videos explaining the things without, because the patch notes are huge. Um, Also, to finalize, we got Star Wars Outlaws. Again, the backlash continues. Reality checks continues to get on Ubisoft. Hopefully, one of these days. But yeah, there were some interesting quotes and regarding the creative director. Uh, Interestingly enough, it dropped Ghost of Tsushima as the biggest reference from upcoming Star Wars games. I don't know why. Again, the way it goes about the things here, I think they are trying to. I don't know what they're trying to do. You continue. Let's go on. It's super interesting because my biggest reference was of Tsushima, which is comes from the reporter at the time that he thought he has to do more about Red Dead Redemption, which basically it's a kind of more suited for Star Wars in terms of inspiration, mainly because of the open world nature supposedly that Star Wars Outlaw has. Kind of makes more sense having more an organic world that respond to your actions. I think it serves best than Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is very specific on what it tries to do there. But yeah, he responded, the creative director, that is bigger Ghost of Tsushima, which is more on the Kurosawa side of inspiration than the Western, the John Ford side of inspiration for George Lucas. Again, they're trying to, as always, they try to say that basically they're trying to take some seeds of inspiration from the original trilogy or the original content that came out of Lucasfilms from the time that George Lucas was owning Lucasfilms before sold to Disney. I think they're trying to make some threads there. So I don't know, try to get some excitement behind this. Even though we saw already the 10-minute gameplay is a shit show on the overall scheme of things. And then he continued, Red Dead Redemption is phenomenal because it treats the world as a world, which is something that supposedly it's what Star Wars Outlaw is. You're basically a blank slate taken from, I completely forgot the name of the character there. You supposedly are a blank slate, and it's trying to navigate the world around you and how the world react to your actions and the faction stuff. I think more, again, makes more sense if they were thinking about what a game like Red Dead Redemption does instead of Ghost of Tsushima. Even though Ghost of Tsushima has excellent gameplay things from what I understand, but the fact that they call about Ghost of Tsushima is they love the purity of having a player fantasy and really leaning into it, which is very weird. This is the story, the world, the character, everything fits together with the gameplay guiding everything. That's the fantasy of you are a samurai ninja in Japan. Again, is referring to the Ghost of Tsushima game. That was one of the guiding lights for this. Again, I don't know if they're trying to internally Ubisoft with all their games trying to make kind of a connection to Assassin's Creed Shadows because again Ghost of Tsushima is compared to again what Assassin's Creed Shadows tries to be. I'm not sure if they are picking on this game for a reason. Again, this game Ghost of Tsushima was picked on through the what we call the media sites because it was made by a bunch of white dudes, even though the Japanese audience uh, elevated and praised very much this game, the way they try respect Japanese culture and folklore. Given Ghost of Tsushima itself is not uh, an historic story there, but it takes some what it supposedly Assassin's Creed should be, the Shadows, which they take the invasion of the Mongols in Japan, which is kind of an event there that happened in Japanese story, and they pick a fictional character and they basically thread a storyline of as a story of revenge of the fact that the Mongols invaded Japan. Again, it's a little bit novelized, let's say, but again, it doesn't disrespect the Japanese culture and the folklore and the beliefs that they had, especially at the time period where supposedly Ghost of Tsushima takes place. Again, a little bit jumbled here, but yeah, I don't know what they're trying to go about here with Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, as I said, early actions to this game does not appear to be convincing games. In any case, again, nobody likes this. You got this completely ratioed on the IGN channel, the 10 minutes that I've been talking about, um, 9 times basically over the ratio of dislikes to likes. Again, got a lot of comments. Already went through this. But yeah, on top of negative feedback, the creative director, creative director, previously indicated that the game will make it difficult for players to be immersed in the world of Star Wars. He and Massive have created, given they decided to make the game's protagonist Cave as much more modern protagonist. Again, uh, uh, they get very well surprised of the backlash that it has if they are already aiming to make it difficult for players to be immersed in the world of Star Wars that they created, given that they decided to make games protagonist Cave as a much more modern protagonist. Again, I don't understand why they get all surprised all of a sudden with this kind of backlash, but yeah. He told Game Informer at the time, I think she's a more modern protagonist than we usually see in games. Again, it's the modern stuff, trigger word, let's say, like a better term here. They are trying to aim for something that doesn't exist, which is the modern audiences. People just want a character to relate to. It doesn't need to be based on the reality, because again, he goes about here. She's somebody who is very much a street thief who gets thrown into things that are beyond her control, and that she kind of has to think or her way out of. Again, I'm sorry, this is talked. It's not written responses. Talked words. It gets a little bit jumbled around. And that makes it a little bit more relatable than somebody who has all the confidence and sarcasm and just come off as somebody who is not believable. Again, people tend to forget the characters in games, like any kind of fiction or any kind of media, like movies and series, TV series. It's not about to be believable. It's relatable. If you make a character that can be not believable in the sense that it's something that we can see on today's day and age in planet Earth, because it's a Star Wars game. Again, it's not a matter of being believable or not if it is a human or if it is an alien. It's if it is relatable to the players that are going to buy this game and play this game. It's more about that than trying to make it somebody that is believable. Again, words are important, and they to clarify, and they use specific words on this. That's why people are not liking this, because the modern protagonist that needs to be believable has to have certain aspects of it for them to put out and think this is something that is going to stick with players. Uh, but it's not. Okay. And he continues, so having a relatable in that way was something extremely important was. So you can see they have this kind of vision, and it's backlashing like nobody else's business. Even though I understand in terms of the gaming qualities and the game mechanics and system that can, I think there is some thing to say about this, which is the character itself being more of a rookie, a petty thief who ends up in a situation that is much bigger they ever expected. I think this is good to take advantage of having kind of a blank slate, in the sense that she doesn't. It's not a Jedi person or any kind of more. In a sense that it is very much a blank slate that in the sense that it doesn't have any kind of special power or something like that. In terms of how you go about navigating the world and doing some missions, doing some activities, and how the world itself reacts to the player itself, which it's I think it's more in line with something like Red Dead Redemption, and the things that you can get out, like the let's say the XP and how you can get new abilities or something like that. I can't I can understand and to a certain degree support the necessity of having like a rookie petty thief, something that it's a scrawny character that is basically reacting, but in the way that it's reacting, it's kind of learning to get around things and let's say gaining abilities and unlocking certain things to improve the character itself. And to a certain extent, I think the narrative can be also the character can also be more relatable in that sense that you're basically seeing the world as an unknown person or not knowing the world itself. The player is the point of view of the or the character, sorry, is the point of view of the player. I think it fits well in that sense. But yeah, continuing the again game director. I think it's very relatable as a human being on planet Earth that this character doesn't have any magical powers or property beyond her daring, her skill, her tools, and her buddy nicks. Again, they are going in this wrong way. Again, a Star Wars game is not about the human being on the planet Earth. It's somebody on the exploring the galaxy, dealing with galactic problems. It's not a person that is throwing throwing paint to paintings in a museum, trying to relate with some mundane earthly problems. It's exploring a galaxy that to our perception is basically infinite, with possibilities of encountering aliens and everything. It's not about a human being on the planet Earth. Again, the vision is all upside down. They don't know what they think people want this. People they want escapism when they play a game. They don't think to understand. They don't understand that. I don't know why, but if people want stuff that is connecting to real world things, like a human being on planet Earth, people already have their own lives to deal with that. I don't understand they're trying to make escapism kind of an imprisonment of the mind in real world. Again, they're trying to simulate the real world. Again, that doesn't bring you any kind of new customers. But yeah, the personality type is also perfectly suited for going on a smash-buckling adventure. I don't think so. She gets herself to a certain extent, a little bit annoying, but everybody has an opinion about that. I think that's something I really resonated with thinking about this character in terms of building a game and gameplay around it. So basically, what they did is they created at least according to what he's saying here, they envision a character which is a human being on the planet Earth, and selecting a character that doesn't have any magical powers or properties beyond their daring, skills, tools, and buddy system there. And they just built everything around that, taking an account of the skin of Star Wars. So with that you can have a sense what this is going to be. Even though they are name dropping Ghost of Tsushima to a certain extent, Red Dead Redemption comparisons there, again, you can understand that this is not going to be good. Not at all. And we already have some previews coming out. I watched this one from ACG. I usually also pay attention to their reviews. They don't give scores, they just give their own opinion in overall sense of things. And again, as you can see on the title, and he is usually very favorable, very forgiving on the reviews that he gives. But even here, he says he'd rather kiss a Wookiee instead of playing this. So you might have a sense of what's going on around here. But yeah, in terms of this is what I got for today. We got some gaming deals. We still have until the 1st of August Fist, which is Force in the Shadow for free on Epic Game Store. On Steam, we got Mudrunner 80% on the base game. Then we got several editions there. We got also SnowRunner, which is the sequel, 50% off on the base game, but you got a lot of editions here. I don't know which one is the best here, but it's one of those games that I might jump in one of these days. We got also Dome Keeper, 60% on the base game. Again, this is a pretty good game if you like kind of roguelike things with some not turn-based, sorry, tower defense kind of gameplay tweaks that they have. And they usually have some challenges that they launch. I think if not on a weekly basis, at least on a monthly basis. They usually they launch some challenges there. It's very interesting. We got also Resident Evil franchise is still on sale, so take advantage of this. I will leave all the Resident Evil games on the description so you can complete your collection. We got also Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, 80% off, a huge discount here. I think this is a pretty good game from the reviews. Always had a very positive reviews. It's not based on the movies, it's based on the comic book characters, from I understand. So even the gameplay is pretty smooth from everything that I've been seeing here. It's one of those that already claimed also for free on Epic Games Store. Probably it's one of the games that are going to follow up after Midnight Suns, so I can complete this Marvel stuff here. And then we got Dredge is 35% off on the deluxe edition. Yeah, from Steam this is it. And on GOG we got still Alien Isolation the collection around a day or so at the time of publishing. If you're hesitant on the collection, the standard edition is also good, which is the best game. Again, if you're not sure, I have a gameplay series on this one, so you can have an idea what this game is all about. We got also Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, 85% off, and also Deus Ex Mankind Divided Digital Deluxe Edition, also on sale. And finally, we got Prey Deluxe Edition or Digital Deluxe Edition. But if you want something more cheaper, the base game is like $3 only. And this game has my stamp of approval. I made recently a gaming series on this game, 4K60. You can check it out, at least the first episode, so you have a sense what kind of immersion sim this is. And then you can take a shot here. This is a recommendation for me. And again, Limbo, 75% off. Again, just $2. From my understanding, this is a pretty good game. I never played it, but it's one of those that very well received, and everybody gives basically a 10 out of 10 when it came out, and still very well played. Again, short game, but the storytelling by the environments is very emotional from what I understand. But yeah, this is what I got for you today, guys. I will just wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. This extra support in this moment in time is more for me to be able to get a better storage solution, for me to be able to get backups and stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Now we'll see you in the next one. So till then, Kunamy Master out.